Welcome to the third and final edition of what am I going to replace the 720 with. In the last video, I mentioned that I decided I was going to go for a lower priced vehicle that would allow me some extra money to go ahead and modify the car and kind of make it more unique and special for me. So this episode, I'm going through all of those cars that I looked at, and then that car you hear over there, I will show you what it is and what I chose. And the next one, we'll do a full review and how I found this specific one and why I bought this one. So first up was a McLaren 650S, and when I got in it, putting this one aside because it was a rough car, all I felt when I got in it was a cheaper, lesser version of the 720. So I think that would have led me to always comparing it to that and not really enjoying it. The next one I looked at was an Audi RS Q8, which you get a lot of car for the money on those, but it was an SUV and I'm looking for two-seater, sporty, and just fun. I mean, there could be 4 seats, like those weird little Porsche seats or something like that, but I also looked at the Aston Martin DBX, which was a little bit more pricey, but I've seen some that were cheaper. And again, same thing, it's an SUV. They're really nice and comfortable, and interior is like a luxury car. But again, though, the two of those, the Audi RS Q8 and the Aston Martin, both would be maybe a replacement when I'm ready for the G-Wagon. So those are out. I also really quickly looked at a new NSX. I've already had one of those and kind of decided it's time for something different. So I'm not going to go with something I've already owned. I took a look at a Bentley Continental GT and I was underwhelmed on the interior of it, especially after getting in a couple Aston Martins. I feel like those are nicer inside, and there's not a lot of customization to do to a Bentley as far as, you know, the wings and that kind of stuff. So that one got ruled out, even though this one had the W12. It was really nice, had really bright red interior, which is kind of cool and different. But overall, I passed on that. I looked at the 4-door Aston Martin, and first off, it might as well not even have a back seat because there's absolutely no room. The seats were awesome, and I just decided I probably want to go with a more modern Aston because, one, it's the current ownership group that put these together, so they're going to support them a little better, and second, they've got AMG motors, so they're going to be way more reliable than the other ones that are parts that they support, but not really. Then the final one that I looked at was a 911 Turbo, and while I was shocked at how nice 911s are, and I know I'm behind on these and there's so many fans of Porsche, the problem is I sent a GT3 and a 911 Turbo picture walk around videos to a bunch of my friends and said which one's better, and none of them are Porsche people, so they didn't really know. And I get that there's a debate because one's turboed, one's not turbo, and there's a lot of stuff around it. The fact that nobody really knew the difference, and two, all the customization parts that I found, I mean, there's exhaust and stuff like that, but any body parts you buy is just to make them all end up looking like the GT3 RS, and I don't want a fake GT3 RS, so I ruled that out. So on all the cheaper priced cars that I looked at, I really liked the Aston Martin Vantage because of the interior being so nice and luxurious, and the big V8 twin turbo. There are some different people making parts for it, so carbon fiber upgrades and that kind of stuff. But just to be sure, the last thing I went and took a look at before really saying that's the car was I went and looked at the DBS Superleggera, the like big brother high-end car, to make sure I wouldn't want that instead. And while that car was absolutely amazing and comfortable and sounded great with the big V12, the problem I had with that, I would rather own the 720 than that, and it was a straight across lateral move. So I wouldn't be able to upgrade it, and I would rather have the car I'd be trading for it. So with that being said, I settled on the Aston Martin Vantage. I got a 2020, and you've heard it the whole time, hopefully. It sounds nasty and amazing, and the interior is spectacular. So I went with that. I looked at a bunch of them, settled on this one. Like I said, in the next video, I'll go through everything I did and how I settled on this specific one. But I could tell you that I'm super excited for it, because if you watch my old videos, I had a Jag F-Type, and it was one of my favorite cars. I had issues with it later, but it was one of my favorite cars, and I feel like this is the big brother grown-up version of that car, and it's so nice, and it's the first car that made me feel like a little person almost when I sat in it, because you sit so low in it and the hood rises up so much. But it's absolutely spectacular. So I'll give you a quick walk around of it, and then in the next video I'll give you the full review of what I think of it and the little weird things I find or don't find. Let me know what you think. Did I make the right choice, or should I have went with something else?